What's going on YouTube? Hey guys, it's Ben. Thank you so much for checking out my channel again. And in this video, I'm going to talk to you about one of my favorite topics ever, recruiting agency contracts. So let's jump right into it. It's super ridiculously, absurdly, obscenely important that you have an ironclad contract when you set up an agreement with a new client. I'm going to go through my contract and show you all of the clauses and all of the ways that you can get screwed 6 ways from Sunday so that you don't actually get screwed 6 ways from Sunday. Most of you have already seen this contract because it's the same one that I send to everybody along with the cold email templates on the Six Figure Recruiter Facebook page. If you're not there already, link in description, like it and message me and I will send you my example contracts. But these are super important, so let's dive right into it and talk about exactly what's in it. All right, so getting right into it, the contract itself is very straightforward and very simple, as it should be. But it has very important clauses in it that basically protect you and protect the client from certain things that could happen down the road. At the end of the day, you don't want to get screwed, they don't want to get screwed, and so everybody wants to be on the same level playing field. The first page of the contract is going to be a lot of generics, so it's just going to talk about what's going to happen. So it says agreement to hire via agency, says that the agency is going to find a bunch of candidates for the client, they're going to present them to the client's going to have a chance to review them, yada yada yada. That's basically the first and sort of the half a second page. The first clause in the contract that's super important, probably the most important, is the payment clause. So essentially it spells out exactly how you're going to get paid and what your fee is. So in this particular contract, the fee for finding a good candidate that they hire is 10%. So what this contract actually does is it literally does an example and shows if someone were to make $40,000 per year and you have a 10% fee, your fee will be $4,000. So at the end of the day, there's literally no question at all on anyone's part what that fee will be when they sign on the dotted line. The next really important clause in your contract should be your guarantee clause. Now the guarantee, if you don't know what it is, if you haven't read through a full contract yet, or you haven't seen this one, a guarantee basically means that you say you'll send a candidate to a client. Once they hire them, you guarantee that they will stay on with that client for a set amount of time. Sometimes it's 30 days, sometimes it's 60 days. If it's a higher upper echelon role, maybe like software or finance, maybe that's going to be a 90-day guarantee. But bottom line, you're going to put your guarantee in the contract. Now, this is extremely important because what happens is if the candidate quits or is fired within the time period of the guarantee, let's say they quit on day 29 and you have a 30-day guarantee, that means that you have the responsibility to replace that candidate for no fee. If they leave on day 31, you then have a leg to stand on and say, no, I'm not replacing that candidate. They left outside of the guarantee period. Guarantees are super important. The next clause I want to talk about is something that people rarely go into and a lot of people don't even know about, but it's called the Candidate Engagement and Ownership Clause, or at least exactly that's how I spelled it out. You can call it a lot of things. Right to represent, things of that sort. Maybe you've heard of it by different names. But basically what it means is finders keepers, pretty much. So if you begin a search, let's say it's for a forklift driver, and the company is also searching for forklift drivers, and you come across Jim on, June 20th, and they come across Jim on June 23rd. Well, who owns Jim for a billable fee if they want to hire Jim? Obviously, you do because you found him first. Finders keepers, right? That's what the Candidate Engagement and Ownership Clause is all about. It essentially spells out that whoever finds and talks to, interacts with in any way at all, text message, email, phone, in person, whatever it might be, whoever interacts with this candidate first is the owner of the candidate. And I don't mean you literally own the person. I mean you own the rights to bill for them if the company chooses to hire them. This does happen from time to time where candidates will apply for positions through multiple avenues, maybe on an Indeed ad, maybe on a Craigslist ad, maybe through a bunch of different places, and they all come up somewhere, and the client automatically thinks, oh no, Jim applied to us first. He's our candidate. Forget about it. No, you have a candidate engagement clause, and you can pull up your email or your text message or your phone call records or whatever you want and say, no, I talked to him on this date, and unless you can prove otherwise, then he's my candidate and he's billable. That's really important because it involves your money. So the last few couple things about contracts are they're no good unless they're signed, right? So you absolutely need to get this contract signed. However you do it, you can basically scan it and send it over like a PDF, have them physically sign it and then send it back, or you could just get DocuSign for $300 a year. Bottom line is you need to get your contract signed before you do any work whatsoever. So I would never, ever, ever search for a candidate for a client until they sign a contract with me. If I do find someone for them and present them to them and they hire them, they're totally in the right to not pay me a fee just because there's no contract in place. They don't have to pay me a fee. But if I have a contract in place, I'm then able to basically wave it in their face and say, if you do not pay me, I will take you to small claims court or whatever court necessary and go the legal route in order to get your fee, rightfully so. All right, now that you're reminded how important contracts are, make sure you get your contract signed and go get a ton of deals out there. That's all I've got for Tuesday today, guys. I will catch you on Wednesday. Subscribe if you're not subscribed and smash the like button if this was valuable to you at all. Until then.